Hey guys, Doc. So today we're going to do core aeration. I'm going to talk to you about that. I'm going to show you what I'm doing here on the backyard. I'm going to show you what I'm doing on the newly seeded, yes, I'm core aerating the newly seeded front lawn that just started to germinate. I'm going to core aerate that, and that may throw you off balance a little bit, but I'm going to do that too. We're going to put down treatments, and I'm going to explain why I pick up my plugs, and I'll show you how I pick up my plugs. So hold on. In the lawn guides, we talk about this a lot. By the way, the lawn guides are up there. Get them. Over 1.5 million people have used them. There's a website for each lawn. Bermuda, zoysia, and cool season, calendars, instructions, questions and answers, products, everything, use them. And in the description below, I always link to all the products I'm talking about because people are always going to ask about the sweeper that I use, and there's a special duct tape that you have to apply. It gets a little complicated, so everything is going to be on one page and it's all down below. Okay, on this backyard, if you didn't watch the scalping video, we scalped this down, and when we scalped this down, we had a shock. And what was the shock? The shock was that I had a zoysia lawn basically under here. And I've also put down Bermuda seed. So we're going to let Bermuda, two different types of Bermuda and zoysia, battle it out, but we're going to keep it short. If you're going to do, if you have a warm season lawn and you're going to do a core aeration, you need to take it down. Take it down short. That's number one. Number two, I pick up all my plugs. And why do I pick up my plugs? Okay, everything you read online is going to say they leave your plugs, it's good for your lawn, it returns nutrients. Look, it's the same crappy soil that's sitting right next to it. It's not adding any nutrients. All your plugs are doing is your plugs, once you start to cut it up and it starts to rain, they're actually going to go back and they're going to fill in the hole. Now I'm telling you, if you've ever done this, you've seen it. The holes get filled back up real quickly from that chopped up core. The other thing is if you run a reel mower, you do not want to leave your plugs on the ground because there's going to be little teeny rocks in there and they are just going to mess up your blades. So I'll show you, there's a special way I pick them up. I use a lawn sweeper, but I have to make a special adjustment on it. I have to make a special flap, otherwise it doesn't pick them up. And it's a butt whipping, dude. It is exhausting to do this. That's why I have Ryan do it. So next, let's talk about the front. Even Ryan questioned. He said, are you sure you want to go out and do core aeration on that lawn that's just germinating? I said, yes. This is the perfect time to open it up. Look, when you got high humidity and you've got thunderstorms every day or every other day, it's the perfect time to punch some holes in the ground. Let the nutrients that you're putting down go inside. Let oxygen go inside. Open up that soil. Let the water that's actually flowing across it actually go in. Core aeration for warm season people, summer is the time you want to do it. Remember, core aeration is only done during an active growing season. Got it? So when your lawn is healthy and active. For us, warm season guys, that's in the summertime. Cool season guys, you probably want to do it probably early fall is probably the best time to do it. So let me tell you the steps. We've already scalped. We're going to do core aeration. We're going to pick up the plugs. On the backyard, I want to put down a little bit of green shocker, which is an all fast release, and then I'll put down a light coat of PGF Complete, and I'll put down dirt booster. That's it, I'm done. I'm going to push this lawn hard. I have irrigation. I don't have to worry. We're not in a drought. I got plenty. It's working out fine. On the front, I'm going to punch core holes in there. I'm not going to pick them up because I have wheat straw down there. I'm going to put down a little bit of green shocker and then a little bit of dirt booster. That's it, I'm done. That front area is actually turning out much better than I expected. It's going to look fantastic. This, hit subscribe, that red button, wherever it is, it's on one side, because in about 2 weeks, you're going to be kind of shocked what this backyard looks like. It's going to look really good. And same with that front. That front is actually going to be cuttable probably in about 2 or 3 weeks. That's going to be cool looking. A friend of mine, Christy, who happens to also be my real estate agent, she dropped by. I told her, I said, bring people. So she brought a friend with her. They went up and they harvested a huge amount of vegetables. I'll show you that real quick. What else have I got going on? I don't know. Let's just roll forward and I'll show you what we did. One of the problems with moving is you can never find crap, especially on a 40-acre farm. So I've got small spikes for this aerator. I've got large spikes, and then we couldn't find the core. So we have looked and looked, and Ryan finally said, there's a box. Found them. So this is my billy goat. Not many people own one. These are real tough to actually rent. Not many people rent them, but just any core aerator will do. I have the ability to switch out from small spikes to big spikes to core aerators. And we just found, I ordered new cores. I ordered these, I think, last year. I thought you said you had 4 of them.
No.
Oh, you do. There's one in your hand. It's on my card. Let me have that so I can show them. So this is my core, and that's going to pull the core out. And we might want to put a little bit of grease on that thread too. Talking to Ryan, by the way, so I'm just letting it go on its own. If I get on a downhill slope over here, I'm actually putting a little resistance because it's not, I mean, it's doing fine on its own. What I'm doing is I'm actually putting the wheel into the, I'm overlapping, so you got to make sure, because I want every square inch to have plenty of holes. We are basically picking up these kind of cores like this. Yeah, and the hole itself is that long. That's how long that hole is. That one is that long right there. So they're about 2.5 inch holes, which is fine. Surprisingly, this soil actually looks pretty good, Ryan. No, it does look good. It's got good color. Yeah, I mean, it's actually not, it actually looks really good. You can actually see the streaks. You can actually see it's like the black streaks of humichar inside of it. That's pretty cool there. So you can see the biochar inside of there. The black is the biochar that's working down. Look at that right there. There's a black streak. That's pretty cool. I mean, the same thing we do up in our gardens. We create healthy soil, living soil, and when you do that, plants are happy. Okay, this is where things get a little complicated. I'm going to warn you. This is a brand new sweeper. I'll put a link to it in the description. The design flaw with these sweepers is that the front piece is not low enough. So when you're picking up something like acorns or lawn plugs. So as you go along, it spins forward. Okay, so it's spinning forward. And what ends up happening is all those cores just shoot out in front of you. So here's the fix. You have to follow my instructions exactly. This is 2-inch Gorilla Tape. I'll put a link to it on Amazon. And what I do is I put a strip here, and then I put another strip, and then I put another strip, and I fold it under. Then I go up underneath. I put another strip, and I tie it up under here. And that, you can see, now see, this is the manufacturer's edge right here. This is my edge with the Gorilla Tape. See the difference? That is critical. It will not work if you don't do this, folks. It won't work. And just keep going back and forth with your Gorilla Tape. And you can see it's pretty firm, but there's flexibility. So if you hit the grass, and that's why you can't put a piece of metal or flashing on here or something. And the nice thing is, let's say fall comes around and you don't want that, and you got a long, or your grass is longer, you can take that off. You just rip the tape off. So that is absolutely critical to the operation of this thing. I'm going to tell you right now. The other issue I have found is that this right here, I don't know why they put a plastic washer, and when you're pushing hard on it, this has a tendency to slip. So you're going to want to get a rubber washer to go behind here and make the rubber washer contact that. I didn't have a rubber washer, so you know what I did? I went to an old hose nozzle and I grabbed one of those rubber things that are inside of a hose, and I put that there. I needed something sticky because this is just all too slippery. You got plastic on plastic, and it doesn't want to stay at the right height. So those are the two tricks. I'll link to this one. This is the one we've bought before, and it works. Because we're so bumpy in here, it's going to want to ground out, and you know, this thing isn't made of solid steel, so you could break it, I guess. And what you want to do is, here's the trick to running this. If you lift up on this, you're going to be farther away from the grass. So if you start to ground out too hard, just lift up and you can go. So what you're going to do is if you start to feel too much tension, just lift up until you get the right tension. So you got to sort of play with this thing. And if you're going over a hump, that hump in the middle is really going to weigh you down, so you're going to have to lift up. Your question is probably going to be the same question that Ryan just asked me. Are you sure you want to go aerate all that brand new germinating grass? Yes. Let me explain. We just basically pulled 90% of all the wheat straw off of here. This is a downward slope. We're going to have thunderstorms probably every afternoon for the next 7 days. So what I'm doing is I'm opening up holes. So as any material moves down, it'll actually fill up these holes. When you aerate, you're only opening up, what? You're only opening up, what? 20-25% of the ground. So it's not like I'm out here killing. I got a lot of seed. I put out a lot of seed. This will open it up. It'll let it breathe. It'll let water get in, and any nutrients or anything we put down, dirt booster, it'll get in. The next thing I'm going to do, is I'm going to come out here with the rest of my Bermuda seed once this is done. Or not the rest of it. I'm going to do another light coat of Bermuda seed. It'll fall, it'll work into this dirt, and that'll be my second seeding and second germination sprout. Got it? So yes, I've got good germination, all the rye, all the Bermuda, everything's popping up, and Doc's out here ruining his beautiful germination. Again, 20% of the ground is opened up. The rest of the ground just stays put, but you're letting this ground breathe, man. You're letting water get in, you're letting oxygen get in, and that's so critical, especially on some like hard material downslope like this. And man, I'm hitting some roots, so I gotta be careful. Damn, son. You guys looking good. Look at that. That's looking really good. This is probably one of the hardest days we've had in a while. Do you agree? I was telling, my wife and I were talking about, they do this cardio test where they look for blockages, and I'm like, dude, if I didn't die out there right now, I ain't got to worry about it, because I just aerated that whole 12,000 square foot hill. Holy crap, I am just hot as hell. Man, you got a lot of grass thatch up too.
Yeah, you got all the stuff that the mower didn't pick up.
Man, that's awesome. I've got 1 5-pound back of that Bermuda seed, and I'm gonna run it back here, and then I'm gonna run it again on the front. I'll walk out there in a second. Once I cool off a bit, I'll show you that front I aerated. Oh, excuse me. I was just telling him, you can literally feel this lawn just like breathing. You can smell it. It smells like wet dirt. What's really cool is look at the color of these plugs. Can you see it? Let's see if I can get that for you. Look how dark they are, man. I mean, not all that is humichar, obviously. That's just good soil. Oh my goodness. These are 2 of the tomatoes of the probably 60 or 70 that are probably ready to pick today. That's just insane. I've got to start making some phone calls to neighbors because I want to give these away to friends and family because this is just insane. So my buddy Christy called me and she was going to come out this past week and pick some vegetables for me, or for herself. And I told her, I said, if you got any friends, bring them along. So we'll see what happens. I'm hoping she brings a whole crowd with her. But we got to get some of this produce out of this garden. I don't want it to go to waste, and they'll use it. So here we go. So Christy and Lauren are, there's Christy.
Hi.
Say hi, Christy.
Hi.
Lauren is over there cutting. And we're just started. Whose bag is this? Yours?
Yeah.
Look at her tomato bag.
So yummy.
And there's still, what, 50, 75 red tomatoes on there? It's crazy. So I invited them up. I said, bring people, cut Saturday morning. And they found the green beans. They just go on and on and on and
There's
on.
So many great ones. It's crazy how if you just move the leaves, that they're everywhere.
They don't stop.
No, they really don't.
Christy's not only my friend, what are you?
I'm also your realtor.
She's also my realtor. She's the best realtor in the area, number one.
Thank you.
You know Doc, he only uses the best.
That's right.
We're trying to get rid of, I'm up here basically by myself, and I've given away all I can to neighbors, and the zucchini and squash, it just needs to go. There's almost none that are small and nice and delicate. Everything is just monstrous. They're mainly taking cucumbers, green peppers, green beans, and tomatoes. But I'm going to send her back with a batch of those huge zucchinis and squashes in case someone wants to make some bread. It's a good thing you brought the SUV.
Right?
She's going to have a lot of food. Man, what a butt whipping. So let me go ahead and summarize the feeding so this video is getting a little bit long. On this front area where I have that pond and I have that slope, I'm going to be putting down green shocker and dirt booster. Why am I using green shocker here? Green shocker, if you don't know about green shocker, go watch the videos on it. It is last year's product of the year. Fantastic. It's the size of salt, okay? It looks like black salt. And once you start watering it, within 60 seconds to a couple of minutes, it'll actually turn into a liquid form. It melts and goes right into the soil. So when your soil is dry, you put out green shocker and start watering right away, right away, right away. It'll go right into the soil and it'll lock into the soil. It doesn't matter now if I have thunderstorms come by and the soil starts to get saturated, because what's happened? The nutrients and green shocker and the humic has already entered into the soil, and once that soil locks up and gets saturated, it's going to run off. But the fertilizer, I don't have slow release out here, and that slow release isn't sitting here consistently, just we'll call it melting and melting and melting. So for my pond over here, I'm not getting nutrients down into my pond because they're already locked into the soil. Got it? So this area over here, there's a gentle slope here, and I know for a fact that as the water comes down, it's going to sort of, if I get a real heavy rain, it's going to want to go and go. So what I'm doing is I'm firing up my big irrigation sprinkler about every couple of hours, and I'm just keeping this moist, keeping it moist, keeping it moist, and just pushing that down in. You want to stimulate this grass. Once you've done this, you want to feed it. So green shocker and dirt booster, let's run out back. Okay, so let's talk about this back area. What am I doing here? Same thing, I'm putting out dirt booster and I'm feeding it, but I'm feeding it with PGF Complete. So I'm coming out here, I put out a light coat bag rate. I put out a bag rate of PGF Complete, and I put out dirt booster. I also actually had a little bit of green shocker left over in my spreader, so I came out here and put a little bit of green shocker. Again, I have an irrigation system out here. It's 92 degrees. It is scorching on this ground. You can just feel the heat radiating from this ground. So what I'm doing is I'm doing short cycle watering during the day I'm coming out middle of the heat of the day and I'm just doing a 6-minute run. Wait a couple hours, 6-minute run. I want to get water into here. I want to get nutrients into here. I want to sort of energize this grass to get growing. Now this is warm season, so I can do this. You wouldn't do this on a cool season grass, but I'm sort of energizing this and saying, okay, grow, grow, grow. The green patches you see in here is all zoysia. We cut off all this cool season and then I have a ton of zoysia grass. Then I've put down Bermuda seeds. So we're going to have zoysia and Bermuda, and Monday I have a quote-unquote hybrid, we'll call it, but I have a specialty Bermuda coming in here, and I'll put down that seed out here too. I may, if I have enough, I may even throw some out front too. So that's sort of the theme here. Scalp it down, do your core aeration, pick up your plugs, put down some fertilizer, water, and I'm telling you, within about 2 weeks, you're going to see this, and this is really going to start to look good. Anyways, longer video, but I got to cut it short. Talk to you later. Doc.